All right, welcome. So, you've got the Python basics down, but you're probably looking at your code and thinking, there has to be a better way to do this. If you're ready to go from writing simple scripts to actually building real applications, then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to upgrade your toolkit with some seriously powerful concepts that will change the way you write code for good. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with a quick mindset shift and then dive into 3 killer Python tools: comprehensions for smarter loops, lambdas for functions on the fly, and the big one, object-oriented programming. Then we'll put it all into practice and build a cool little task manager project. And finally, we'll talk about where you can go from here with all your new skills. You know, making that jump from beginner to intermediate Python isn't really about memorizing more syntax. It's about starting to think like a programmer. It's about writing code that doesn't just work, but code that's clean, efficient, and easy to build upon. It's all about being more intentional with how you design things.
Okay, our first tool is something that feels fundamentally, well, Pythonic. It's this whole philosophy of doing more with less code. We're going to kick things off by making your loops way smarter, faster, and just a whole lot cleaner to look at.
So let me ask you this. Does this sound familiar? You need to make a new list based on an old one. So you create an empty list, you start up a for loop, you run some kind of if check, and then you finally append the result. Right? It works, but it's a little clunky. What if I told you that you could do all of that in one single elegant line of code?
And here it is, the big reveal. Just look at the difference. On the left, that's the old way, the traditional for loop. It takes 4 lines to say one thing: make a list of squares for all the even numbers from 1 to 20. But on the right, that's the new way. That's a list comprehension. It does the exact same thing, but it's so much more direct, easier to read once you get the hang of it, and often it's even faster.
So, to put a formal name on it, this is a list or dictionary comprehension. It's just a super compact, single-line syntax for creating a new list or dictionary from something you can loop over. Honestly, learning this is one of the first times you start to feel like you're really speaking Python fluently.
All right, next tool in the box. Let's talk about creating tiny, disposable functions right when you need them without all the ceremony of a full def statement. Let's get into the power of lambdas.
So what is a lambda function? Well, it's pretty simple. It's a function with no name. That's why they call it anonymous. You just use the lambda keyword. It can take as many arguments as you want, but here's the catch. It can only have one single expression inside it.
So where do you actually use these things? Well, they're perfect for short, simple tasks. The real superpower is when you use them as arguments for other functions, like sort, map, or filter. Imagine you've got a list of dictionaries and you need to sort them by one of the keys. Instead of writing a whole separate named function, you just pop a little lambda right into the sort method. It's incredibly clean and efficient. Okay, we've been focusing on small-scale efficiencies. Now, let's zoom out and look at a powerful way to organize your entire program. This is object-oriented programming, or OOP. The whole idea is that we create reusable blueprints to model the things in our application.
At the very heart of OOP is the concept of a class. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a cookie cutter. The class itself isn't the cookie. It's the tool that defines the shape and structure for all the cookies you're about to make. It's the master plan.
So if the class is the cookie cutter, then an object is the actual cookie. It's a specific thing that you've created from that blueprint. You can use one cookie cutter to make hundreds of individual unique cookie objects. Well, what makes each cookie unique? The details. And in OOP, we call these attributes. They're just variables that belong to an object and they hold all the specific data. Think of them as the sprinkles, the frosting, the different flavors, the stuff that describes each individual cookie.
And finally, we have the method. A method is just a function that belongs to a class. It defines what an object can do. So if attributes describe what an object is, methods define what an object does. In our cookie world, a method might be something like bake or maybe decorate. Now let's put it all together with a real code example because that's where it really clicks. Here we have a dog class. That's our blueprint. Then we create an object, an instance called myDog. We give it some attributes like a name, Fido, and an age, 5. And we give it a method, an action it can do, like bark. See how this bundles the data and the functionality together into one neat package?
Okay, theory is great, but building is where the real learning happens. So now, we're going to take all our new tools, comprehensions, and this whole object-oriented approach
And we're going to build a simple but totally functional command line task manager.
So our little app is going to have all the basics you'd expect. You'll be able to add new tasks, view everything on your to-do list, mark things as complete, and most importantly, save everything to a file so you don't lose all your tasks when you close it.
And from the user's point of view, it's going to be super simple. They just run the program, choose what they want to do from a menu, and our application handles all the logic behind the scenes, updating the list and saving it automatically.
And here's where it all comes together. This is the payoff. Look how perfectly our new tools fit. We'll use a task class as the blueprint for each item on our list, with attributes for the description and status. We'll use a method on that class to mark complete. And we can use a list comprehension to instantly create a filtered list of only the tasks that still need to be done. See, every tool has a purpose.
So you've leveled up. You've added these powerful new tools to your programming belt. The big question now is, what's next? What do you do with all this new power?
The truth is, these skills open up so many doors. You could dive into the world of data science with libraries like Pandas and NumPy. You could start building websites and APIs with a framework like Flask. Or you could master automation and write scripts that make your own life easier. The most important thing, the real key takeaway, is to just keep building things. Practice is what makes it all stick. So that's our look at leveling up your Python. You now have the blueprints for writing code that's smarter, cleaner, and way more powerful. So the only real question left is the one right there on the screen. What are you going to build first? Happy coding!